Okay, welcome to the Municipality of Strathroy-Caradoc's Committee of Adjustment meeting. The municipality, first off, acknowledges that Strathroy-Caradoc is located on Treaty 21 territory. We are thankful for the generations of people who've taken care of this land, including the Chippewas of the Thames First Nation, the Munsee Delaware First Nation, and the United Nation of the Thames. For a roll call, I'm going to go to Jake.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Jake Dritter. I'm the Secretary Treasurer for the Committee of Adjustment. I'll be hosting the meeting tonight, managing participants. Committee members joining us this evening include Member Kennis, Member Vian, Councillor Pelkman, Councillor Derbyshire, and Member Derbyshire, who's our Chair. Absent tonight is Member Kumar and Deputy Mayor McGuire. Municipal staff in attendance this evening are Alyssa Soldo. She's a planner at the County Middlesex, Tim Williams, who's also a planner at the County Middlesex, and Melanie from legal and legislative team. Tonight we have 5 applications to be heard by the committee. The chair will introduce each application and provide the applicant and agent opportunity to speak to the application. The planner will then follow with their report. The public will then be invited to make comments or ask questions about the application. The chair will then call upon the committee to ask questions and make comments before the chair calls for a vote on the application. Once a decision is made, there is a 20-day appeal period from the day of decision for minor variances and 20 days from the notice of decision for consents. If anyone wishes to be notified of a decision, you can make a request today or a written request following this meeting. For virtual participants, please just make sure your name is visible on the Zoom video, and we ask that you keep yourself muted until it's your turn to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. So then I'm looking for an approval of our agenda tonight. Frank, seconded by Dale. All in favor? That carries. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest by anyone? Seeing none. Then I'm looking for approval of the minutes. You see the minutes, any changes or anything we need to add to it? No, then I'm looking for a approval of the minutes. Dale, supported by Steve. And all in favor? That carries. So then we're into submissions for consideration. Our first one is application for consent B79-2025. This is at 8524 Falcon Bridge Drive. The owner is Patricia Pern and agent Elizabeth Comier. And I understand Patricia's in the gallery? No? Yes, there you are. Okay. And Elizabeth's on the line? Okay. Okay, then I'll go to Alyssa for your report.
Thank you, Chair. This application before committee is to sever 3 new residential lots from a larger agricultural parcel. The subject property is located on the north side of Falcon Bridge Drive, south of Adelaide Road. The lands are approximately 4.48 hectares in size, with 112 meters of frontage along Falcon Bridge Drive, 404 meters of frontage along Adelaide Road, and 384 meters of frontage along an unopened road allowance to the west. The property is on private services and is located outside of the settlement area of Mount Bridges. Areas of the property are regulated by the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority. This property was the retained parcel previously subject to planning applications for consent that resulted in the creation of 1 new lot in 2007 in accordance with the decision delivered by the Ontario Municipal Board on December 14, 2006. The original consent application requested 3 new lots to be created, which was denied at the local level and then appealed. The board allowed the appeal in part, granting provisional consent for a specific parcel noted as Parcel C on the original Schedule A, provided as part of the application. The severed lot was provided through an amendment to the consent application under the terms of the minutes of settlement. The proposed land to be retained is 3.8 hectares in size, with 20 meters of frontage along Falcon Bridge Drive, containing a single detached dwelling and detached garage. The proposed lands to be severed are each 0.22 hectares in size, with 34 meters of frontage along Falcon Bridge Drive, and are currently vacant of any structures or buildings. One comment was provided by a member of the public expressing their opposition to the application. They note reasons such as the look of 3 lots being congested in this area. They also note that the former owner of the previously severed lot had a dispute with this applicant. One of the conditions of the previous consent was to service the lot with municipal water, which was never done by the applicant. The severed lot is now on private services. Provided agency comments include Enbridge, noting that a service relocation will be required as the current gas service for the retained parcel goes through the proposed severance. Middlesex County Emergency Services provided comments about municipal 911 addressing. The St. Clair Region Conservation Authority noted that they have no concerns with the application. The Manager of Growth and Development commented that there are currently no municipal services along Falcon Bridge Drive to support the creation of these lots. This proposal raises significant concern for the loss of agricultural lands as it is outside of the settlement area and are agriculturally designated and zoned. The Provincial Planning Statement, Middlesex County Official Plan, Strathroy-Caradoc Official Plan, and Zoning Bylaw do not support this consent application. Lot creation in the agricultural area for residential use is not permitted. This application is premature and is better dealt with through a boundary expansion request for Mount Bridges and a plan of subdivision if servicing becomes available in the future. These lots would not represent an efficient use of infrastructure as they are all proposing private septic and well systems. Being in close proximity to the settlement area and a subdivision to the south is not a consideration or part of the criteria for a consent application. This application will result in the loss of prime agricultural lands, which limits the opportunity for future owners of this property. And given the above and within the report, I am recommending denial of consent applications B7 to 9, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Now, I need comments from the owner of the property. Tricia, you're in the audience. Would you like to make some comments?
Yes, I have.
Yes. Can you go to the mic, please?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
I believe that Beth Cormier, my lawyer, is doing an audio.
Virtual, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That she should go first. I do believe.
Sure.
Please and thank you.
Yep.
I'd be happy to. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we've got you.
Thank you for the opportunity to appear. First, I will assume that you're familiar with the property and that you've read the planning report and the information that was submitted with the application. The application is for 3 lots. And the most important part in any analysis, my submission is that it does not create any negative impact on the area or on abutting land. We anticipate that in the event the severances are approved, that zoning, rezoning to rural residential would be required. We have a very unique parcel of land, and I suggest to the committee that one size doesn't fit all, and we have to look at the nature and intent of the policies that are in place. This particular property is unique. It's a triangular parcel. It's constrained on all 3 sides. So we have a Falcon Ridge Drive on one side, Highway 81 or Elliott Road on the other side, and the Ratfarm Road allowance as well. The land's never been farmed during the applicant's 23 years of ownership. And I would like to address a few of the matters identified in the planning analysis provided in the planning report. First, I'd like to confirm that the owner has lived in the community for some time. She's absolutely the best steward of this land, that she would never propose something that could compromise agriculture. We all know how important agriculture is in this area. There, in my submission, is no agricultural capacity for these lands, and it certainly would not remove active or potentially active agricultural lands from inventory. There were some suggestions from planning with respect to the size of the driveway that was accommodated by the applicant. There were suggestions about obtaining servicing and soil reports that was also accommodated and prepared by the applicant. We can see from the servicing and soil reports submitted that each of the 3 lots can, in fact, fit a healthy building envelope, but also traditional septic and water systems. So there isn't a concern with respect to servicing or the size of the lot. With respect to the planning analysis, I'd like to refer the committee to first page 2 of the planning analysis, and I suggest that the provision of this policy and regulation background, the heavy reliance on the PPS, it is not a one-size-fits-all. As we know, these lands have this unique location, and this development would be fully compatible with the area, given the approvals that have been granted for the land immediately across the road for a large, low-density residential subdivision. So any indication that this could somehow hamper agriculture in the area is without merit. I'd like to refer you to page 4 and 5 of the planning analysis. So first, there's a review of the Middlesex County official plan and a reference to 4.5.3.1. It's important for the committee to note that this is a general section, and we can see from the dash, the first dash, basically it says it permits more than 3 lots from a land holding, unless the local official plan contains policies regarding the number of lots. So this is saying, okay, the county OP applies unless the local municipality has different requirements. And that's exactly what we have in this case. The specific overrides the general county official plan. So then I'd like to refer you to the specific section that does apply in Strathroy, and it's at the bottom of page 5. And that's section 7.4.3.1. That's Strathroy's official plan. And Strathroy's official plan states that lots shall be created by severance where the number of new lots, and I'm emphasizing new lots, being created does not exceed 3, and may be considered where the number of lots being created does not exceed 5, provided a plan of subdivision is not considered necessary. Well, to create these 3 lots in this particular location, my submission is that a plan of subdivision would certainly not be necessary or appropriate. In the analysis section of the planning report at page 7, there's an indication in the second paragraph that any more than 3 new lots require a plan of subdivision. So we can see that that's not consistent with your local official plan. There's also an indication in the second last paragraph that this is better dealt with a boundary expansion request. And a plan of subdivision if servicing becomes available. Well, this application does not merit or require a boundary expansion request. And again, a plan of subdivision does not apply to these circumstances. Over the page at the bottom of 12 pages of the full planning report, I'm submitting to the committee that the fact that the surrounding area is in proximity to an approved residential development, said to you, is that this proximity is not a consideration. Or is it criteria for a consent application? And I submit to the committee it absolutely is a consideration. You have to look at all aspects of an application, and it is right across from a large residential subdivision that's being proposed. It's also indicated here that this will be taking land out of the agricultural inventory. That certainly is not the case. It's indicated that the proposed lots are outside of the settlement boundary. That is correct. However, that settlement boundary has been under review for years. And this particular parcel was included as being considered as being part of the settlement area. So there's nothing inconsistent with what what's proposed before you, the creation of these 3 lots. In fact, if we look at the aerial and the overview, if we recognize that the FD land, future development across the street, will all be low density residential, it's fully compatible. Those are my submissions, subject to any questions you may have, and I'm finishing up quickly because I'd like to provide Patty Kern with an opportunity to speak to the committee.
Great, thank you very much for that. Patty, if you're available.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. I've lived in the community for over 40 years. I think most of you know me or know of me. My property is in a triangle basis, flanked by Rougham, Adelaide, Balkenbridge, and the tracks. So it is, as far as I'm concerned, sitting in an island. I've owned it for over 23 years. I have not farmed it. I do grow Christmas trees on it, but those Christmas trees I donate to the Boy Scouts as well as to underprivileged families within the area. I have contacts with people that I donate to at Christmas time, and they're just good for the environment. I believe in the village of Mount Bridges we need a variety of housing. Housing for new time buyers, move-up buyers, empty nesters, and for retirement people. We need areas where people don't need to just turn to their neighbor and ask their neighbor to flip their hamburger. Not everybody wants to live in that category. And the lots being 112 by 210 deep, and that's missed on the note, they're 210 feet deep. Give the people ample room to move around. Art Boss has done the severance for the approval for the well and for the septic. So I thank you for this opportunity. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them personally. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that. And with that, I will go to the committee for any questions or comments. Brian.
Yeah, I guess my concern is that it, you know, while it may be across the road from a potential subdivision, it still is outside the settlement area, and you know, if we do this, I can't see us declining anybody that wants to carve 3 lots off of any property. Again, I understand where it sits, drove by it, but you know, I have to agree with our planners that it's outside that area at this point, and it may very well come into the urban boundaries of Mount Bridges in the future, and then it's a whole different ballgame. So.
Okay, thanks for that. Brian.
Thanks. I guess where I understand what they've tried to do to justify it, I guess where I get hung up is it's not prime agricultural land. It hasn't been prime agricultural land. There is going to be a subdivision across the road. Either we let this happen this way, or somebody's gonna buy it and make a new subdivision there. Like, when I look at, we're looking to get more housing, build more housing. If this moves people either out of some housing downtown to make cheaper houses available to younger people and they build a bigger lot, or I just don't think this one falls into, I do understand where Member Kennis is coming from, where you say like it might just open it up to a whole bunch, but I do think this is a different animal in the way that there's going to be a subdivision across the road. There's basically roads on all 3 sides. You already have a cluster of houses somewhat there. So it doesn't feel to me like you're carving it out of 100 acres and kind of creating a new hamlet, for lack of a better way. You already have a cluster of houses there. This would just be 3 more in that general vicinity, and we're not taking prime agricultural land. So, you know, I just wish there was a way we can figure out how to kind of make this work.
Thanks, Brian. Going to Steve, and then I'll come back to you, Patty.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm actually not really opposed to creating the lots. The only issue for me is the lack of water. So, you know, the whole reason that Mount Bridges was put on, that we had gone to go to a sewer system was because of the quantity of septic beds in the area and what that was doing to the drinking water. And if these 3 homes are on well water, I don't know, without any testing, I don't know if those wells are good, or should this wait until there's water available? Because I'm assuming it's not that long before there is water available close by. That's really my only concern.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Patty?
Just to address the water issue, I did have it tested by our boss with regards to the septic and with regards to the well, and he has approved it. I do have those parcels of recommendation in there. I also live on the property attached to it, so I'm very much concerned about what you said myself, and I wouldn't do anything that would bother my own water. Secondly, it is conforming, sir, with the lots on Rougham Road, which runs right into Falconbridge, and you have 22019, 22978, 22979, 22965, and there's one other that's right beside it. So the lots on my property would conform to my neighbors on Rougham Road, and they also conform to my neighbors on the east side of Adelaide, on the north side of Falconbridge. So either way, you look at the property, my neighbors are in the these 3 lots would conform to my neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Anyone? No? Then I'm looking for a recommendation, either approve or decline of this item.
I'll make the motion that we approve this request.
Okay. So we approve the request to do it, not to decline it, correct? Just
Correct.
clarity there. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, motion to approve.
And I'm looking for a seconder on that one. Dale? All in favor? And against? It passes. Oh, wait, Tim said something.
Either one.
Through the chair, if you are making the motion to approve, you're going to need to refer it, as there are no conditions attached to the support.
Okay, so we're gonna add that we're gonna defer it,
So we can add conditions? Is that,
because there's no conditions now.
okay. So then, sorry, we will just defer it or approve it and defer it until we can put conditions? What would be your recommendation?
Through the chair, I believe we usually defer it, and then you would at that time make your decision to approve or deny
Okay.
with the conditions attached.
Okay, so we will.
So the recommendation is to defer it till next meeting with conditions.
Attached
Just
for
attached.
approval. Is that, okay?
Okay, and then second to that, still Dale, then all in favor to that, and that carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then we're moving on to another application for consent. This is B14, 2025, and minor variance, A19, 2025. This is 165 Miller Street, and the owners are Krista and David Rosser, who are not in the audience? No, they're on Zoom. Okay. Okay, then Alyssa, I'll go to you for your report.
Thank you, Chair. The consent application before committee is seeking permission to sever one additional residential parcel from an existing lot for the purpose of constructing one new single detached dwelling. A minor variance application has also been submitted to seek relief from section 5.31 of the zoning bylaw to permit a lot area of 390.3 square meters, whereas 460 square meters is required. The applicants are also seeking relief from section 5.32 to permit a lot frontage of 14.5 meters, whereas 15 meters is required for lots on municipal services. The subject property is located on the northeast corner of the intersection at Milliner Street and Burn Street in Strathroy. The property is 780.6 square meters in size, with 29 meters of frontage along Milliner Street and 26.9 meters of frontage along Burn Street. The lands to be severed are 390.3 square meters in size, with 14.5 meters of frontage along Milliner Street, The lands are currently containing a shed which is to be removed, and the remaining lands are used as amenity and driveway space at the moment. The lands to be retained are also 393.3 square meters in size with 14.5 meters of frontage along Milner Street. The lands currently contain an existing single detached dwelling on full municipal services. Comments were provided by a couple of neighbors with the same concerns, opposing the application, stating that the proposed lot is too small and having concerns about the relocation of the driveway closer to the intersection for the retained lot. Provided agency comments include Middlesex County Emergency Services with comments about municipal addressing. The provincial planning statement, Middlesex County official plan, Strathroy-Caradoc official plan, and zoning bylaw all permit severances in the settlement area when representing desirable intensification. It has been demonstrated that the severed lot will generally be capable of accommodating a dwelling that meets lot development provisions. Given the above, I'm recommending approval of consent application B14-2025, subject to the conditions provided in the report. And concerning the minor variance application, I have reviewed this against the 4 tests of the Planning Act. As indicated in the report, is staff's opinion that this application does meet the 4 tests, and as such, I'm recommending that minor variance application A19-2025 be approved to recognize the variances in lot area and frontage. Thank you.
Great, thanks for that, Alyssa. Krista and Dave, do you have anything to add to that?
We do not, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the committee members? Any comments from the audience? No? Yes, there's in the back corner.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kim. I live at 209 Burn Street, so that's our backyard, those 2 lots. If it does go forward, the only concern that we have is our privacy. For example, a dwelling that was recently built on McKellar, 151 McKellar. It's a very narrow piece of land, and a very narrow 2-story building was built there. And there's a very high deck at the back of that dwelling, and so there's zero privacy for the people that have already had their space there. That is pretty much our only concern, is our privacy. So we don't want having a deck that is higher than the fencing. Not that we think that everyone wants to look at us, but we don't want to look at anybody either. So we would appreciate that in consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to go back to Dave and Krista. Do you have any comments on that?
I can assure you there won't be a high deck put there.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah. Colin Fremont, I'm Kim's husband, live at 209 as well. I just want a little clarification. I was reading that it can be legally, if I can get some clarification on this, legally described as parts of lots 39 and 40 on Plan 271. My recollection years ago, we've been there since 2004. Last time I looked at our survey was a while ago, but I believe that is us, 39 and 40. If I can get some clarification on what exactly that means, that'd be great.
Okay, can I go back to Alyssa for that?
Through the chair, the legal description was pulled from the Middlesex County mapping of what we had on file for 165 Milner Street. Yeah, sorry, Tim has the map open. He can explain a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to provide a little bit of background here. So this is a function of a previous severance already. So 205 and 165 were a part of Plan 271, and they are parts of lots 39 and 40. And they were basically running off of Milner before. So 205 has the rear portion of lot 39 and 40, and the front portion of lots 39 and 40 make up 165. So that's the difference between, and so both technically have the same legal description because they are parts of the same 2 lots. It is a little tricky, but Now we're talking about the severance of that
Yeah.
one piece.
Okay,
60 years.
any other comments from committee members? Seeing none, then I'd like a recommendation. Frank?
I'd make a motion that we approve the application for consent. And, or you want separate motions for,
Yes.
and a second, well, why don't we just do the consent first?
We'll do the consent first. I need a seconder for that. Brian, all in favor? And that carries. Frank, do you want to continue on?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minor variance in this case as well.
Okay, and supporting that? Brian again, all in favor?
Question.
Oh, yep.
Was fencing a condition?
Is fencing a condition?
I don't see it here, but
Through the chair, no, I don't believe that fencing was outlined as a detail as part of the
Okay.
condition.
Okay, so we still all in favor? And then, yes? Right, we're still all in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Then that carries.
If we're voting, yes.
Okay, because that question stalled it there. Okay, so then we're moving on to 5.3. It's an application for minor variance at 54 Panel Lane. This is A17-2025. 54 Panel Lane in Strathroy, and the owners are Heather Hallett and Charles Middleton. And I don't know if they're in the audience tonight? No? Okay, Alyssa, your report.
Thank you, Chair. The minor variance application before committee this evening is seeking relief from section 4.65A of the zoning bylaw to permit a secondary suite that is 82.5 square meters in size, whereas a maximum size of 75 square meters is permitted. The subject property is located on the south side of Panel Lane, west of Head Street North in Strathroy. The property is approximately 0.63 acres in size, with 27.44 meters of frontage along Panel Lane. The property is connected to municipal services and contains an existing 313.1 square meters single detached dwelling and a 27.56 square meter shed. The applicant is proposing to build a secondary suite within the existing home's footprint, and the property has been shown capable of accommodating parking requirements for both residential uses through the existing driveway area. No comments were provided by the public on this report. A comment was provided by the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority noting that they have no concerns with the proposed application. I reviewed the application against the 4 tests of the Planning Act, and as indicated in the report, it is staff's opinion that this application does meet those 4 tests. As such, I'm recommending that minor variance application A17-2025 be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Any comments from anyone in the gallery on that one? Yes. State your name, please. And
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Trollope, and I'm the design coordinator for Bang On Construction. I'm here today on behalf of the homeowners, Heather Hallett and Charles Middleton, for 54 Pinal Street. Our team will be completing the renovations to convert a portion of their existing home into the legal secondary suite. The variance we are requesting is to allow the suite to exceed the permitted maximum size of 75 square meters and instead be built to 82.5 square meters. The suite will be located within the footprint of a previous addition to the house. We consulted with our BCIN designer to explore whether there was any feasible way to reduce the area to meet the current bylaw. Unfortunately, due to the existing structure, it is not possible to do so without creating an impractical or poorly designed living space. This request does not involve expanding the building or altering its use. It allows us to make the most efficient use of the existing space. We are grateful for the opportunity to do this type of work in Strathroy. We value working with the municipality, the county, and the community members to help create a safe, attractive, and affordable housing within Strathroy. Projects like this will contribute in small ways to addressing affordable challenges and the ongoing demand for quality rental housing. Thank you.
thanks for that. Any other comments by committee members? Yes, Steve.
just that this is a very unique home and a very unique piece of property with parking for, I would say, I wouldn't be surprised you get 10 to 15 cars in that driveway. So even the way the house is situated, you're not going to impact anybody. So, I would move that we approve this with the conditions attached.
Okay, I'm looking for a seconder for that. Frank, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Moving to 5.4, it's an application for minor variance A18-2025. This is at 55 Ashby Crescent. The owners are Kimberly and David Basto. And you're in the audience? Bagso, right? Bagso?
Yes.
Melissa, if I can go to you for a report.
Thank you, Chair. The minor variance application before committee is seeking relief from section 5.36 of the zoning bylaw to permit a lot coverage of 41.4%, whereas a maximum lot coverage of 40% is permitted on a low density residential lot. This application will permit the construction of a 36.9 square meter gazebo in the backyard. The subject property is located on the south side of Ashby Crescent, southeast of Metcalf Street West in Strathroy. The property is approximately 764.4 square meters in size, with 19.8 meters of frontage along Ashby Crescent. The property currently contains a 208 square meter single detached dwelling connected to municipal services, an attached garage, and covered porches. The proposed gazebo will not exceed the permitted total lot coverage will exceed the permitted total lot coverage with all existing structures on the property, although it will not exceed accessory building lot coverage requirements. One comment was provided by a neighbor noting that they do not oppose the application and believe that it will enhance the subject property. A comment was provided by the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority noting that they have no concerns with the application. I have reviewed the application against the 4 tests of the Planning Act, and as indicated in the report, it is staff's opinion that this application does meet those 4 tests. As such, I am recommending that minor variance application A18-2025 be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Any comments from the owners of the property? No? Okay. And going to committee members? No questions, no concerns? Okay, then I'm looking for a recommendation. Frank?
A motion to approve the minor variance.
Okay, seconded by Dale. All in favor, and that carries. Okay, then I'm going on to number 6, announcements. Jake has an announcement first.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to let the committee know that we did receive an appeal on B10.25, which is 106 Front Street. That was heard at the last committee meeting, so I'll keep the committee updated as that progresses, but so far we've just received the appeal.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements? Frank?
I guess just on that, Jake, what kind of timeline is that involved?
Don't really know at this point. Like I said, we just received it last week, so we haven't even gotten a hearing date or anything like that yet. So I'm not too sure, but it'll be several months for sure.
And number 7 is scheduled meetings. Like I said, I won't be here for the October one, but Frank will chair that. And I'm looking for a recommendation for adjournment from Dale, seconded by Frank. All in favor? We're adjourned.